Please be seated. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the University of Strathclyde, I'd like to welcome you to the Barony Hall for this congregation for the conferment of degrees. This is a day of celebration for you, our graduands, your families, friends, and the staff of the university. These events are sometimes known as commencement ceremonies, as a signal that they mark a beginning rather than the end. And it's in that spirit that we celebrate graduations at Strathclyde. In a few moments, it will be my privilege to cap each graduand. The capping ceremony has ancient roots as a public rite of passage and a mark of achievement. For each of our graduands, it's a sign they are now part of a proud tradition of world-changing scholars at Strathclyde, stretching back to the Scottish Enlightenment. I hope you enjoy the ceremony. I now declare this congregation open and invite Dr. Vino Halloran to introduce our honorary graduate, Mr. Hugh Hall.
My Lord and Chancellor, on behalf of the University Senate, I have the honour to present a candidate for an honorary degree, Mr. Hugh Hall. Hugh has had a long and distinguished career in public life in Scotland, from the very early days of working with the Benefits Agency in the East End of Glasgow to his current roles as Principal and Chief Executive of Fife College. Throughout his 40-year career, Hugh has served the public through a wide variety of organisations, including the Benefits Agency, the Scottish Office, the Scottish Higher Education Funding Council, the Occupational Health and Safety Agency, Scottish Homes, Visit Scotland, Audit Scotland, Scottish Enterprise, and the University of Strathclyde. Born and brought up in the East End of Glasgow, one of 8 children, 5 boys and 3 girls, Hugh could not afford a university education. Instead, in 1976, he went straight from school into public service as a clerical officer, working in the local benefits agency in Easterhouse, supporting those members of his own community in receipt of state benefits. From there, Hugh rose quickly through the ranks of the civil service before joining the Scottish Office Education Department, where he was a member of the team that established the Scottish Higher Education Funding Council. In his 30s, by then the father of 2 young children, Claire and Rowan, and while holding down a challenging full-time post, Hugh embarked on part-time higher education. It is to his credit that Hugh not only attained a qualification as a chartered public financial accountant, but he also won the Institute's silver medal for his performance in his final professional exams. Hugh went on to receive a master's degree in business administration from Edinburgh University, again through part-time study while in a full-time job. Hugh's boundless energy, appetite for hard work, and leadership abilities are recognised by all those who have worked closely with him over the years. He has an innate ability to challenge, to innovate, to drive change and promote improvement. He played leading roles in public service areas such as the decentralisation of housing to community housing associations, the transformation of the Scottish tourism support landscape, and revamping Scotland's enterprise agencies. When he was Chief Financial Officer at Scottish Enterprise, Hugh played the lead role in delivering the outcomes from the Scottish Government's Enterprise Network Review. This was a considerable achievement and led to the creation of Skills Development Scotland and the transfer of some enterprise responsibilities to local government. Hugh's leadership in this transformation was recognised through the Public Sector Finance Director of the Year Award in 2009. And in 2010, Hugh came to Strathclyde and spent 7 years here as Chief Operating Officer, until his appointment last year as Principal at Fife College. This was the longest he has spent in any role in his career to date, reflecting just how much he enjoyed working here. His appointment was unusual at the time and the brainchild of the Principal and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Sir Jim MacDonald, who had a clear vision for the university and recognised that Strathclyde needed a Chief Operating Officer with expertise beyond the higher education sector to help achieve a bold and ambitious new strategy. Hugh went on to play a critical role in taking forward the university's vision as a leading international technological university. As our Chief Operating Officer, Hugh was a key member of the university executive team and secretary to the university court, playing an important role in the governance and working relationship between the court and the executive team. One notable example of an achievement was his leadership of the discussions with the UK government and other leading UK universities in Strathclyde's assumption of strategic leadership and responsibility for the UK National Physical Laboratory. That these discussions led to a successful outcome for Strathclyde is in no small measure down to Hugh's leadership, drive and determination. He also played a key role in the development of our £89 million Technology Innovation Centre, which was opened by Her Majesty the Queen in 2015. Hugh leads by example and has a working style that enables him to achieve the best from his colleagues. He has a natural ability to foster successful and constructive relationships based on openness and mutual respect. He played a leading role in shaping and promoting the values and behaviours of the university and worked closely with senior colleagues to ensure that those values are embraced and firmly embedded in everything we do. Hugh became principal of Fife College in March 2017. There he is responsible for strategic leadership of the college, working with the board, the staff and 22,000 students to reshape and reposition the college to be a strong player in the regional economy, to be a successful provider of higher and further education, a close collaborator with universities, and to be recognised for quality, relevance and high levels of attainment. Among a number of voluntary positions held over the years, Hugh served as a member of the Court of Napier University from 2002 to 2010, including over 6 years as chair of their audit committee. And from then until 2016, he was chair of Forth Valley College, now recognised as one of Scotland's most innovative and successful colleges. And during 2013-14, Hugh played a leading role in support of the Scottish Government's transformation of the college sector in Scotland. But that's not all. Hugh is known as a tenacious and passionate advocate for education and young people and devotes time as chair of the Scottish Children's Lottery, established in 2016 with the goal of improving the lives of disadvantaged Scottish children. In what little spare time he has left, he loves spending with his family, with his friends, in travelling and going to the theatre. It is clear that Hugh has made an exceptional contribution to public life and education in Scotland. During his career, he has gained a reputation for his can-do attitude, delivering positive and transformational change through motivating and mobilising people. His firm belief that education plays an important role in social transformation resonates with Strathclyde's ethos and values as a socially progressive university. We are delighted to have him back with us today and to welcome his family, Jan and their daughter Rowan, and a special mention to his other daughter Claire, who can't be with us today because of work commitments in Japan. But I'm told that she is currently with us and tuning in via our live stream, which is going out across the globe. It is also great to see here today many of Strathclyde staff who worked with Hugh and who benefited from his incredible experience and wise counsel. A modest man from the East End of Glasgow, Hugh has made a valuable and varied contribution to Scottish public life. It is entirely fitting, therefore, that his extensive contribution is recognised by the university. My Lord and Chancellor, in recognition of his outstanding public service and contribution to education, I invite you to confer on Hugh Hall the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
Create you Doctor of the University, honoris causa. Welcome back to Strathclyde.
Wow, I hardly recognise myself there. My Lord and Chancellor, Convener of Court, members of Senate, members of Court, colleagues, guests, and most importantly, all our graduates. I'm immensely proud to be honoured by the University of Strathclyde in this way. Vina, thank you so much for your kind words. It is indeed a great honour, and it's fantastic to be back in a place that I love so much and in a place that holds so many happy memories for me. As you spoke, Vina, I felt my life flash before me. 60 wonderful years and satisfying years captured in your short oration. From those very modest beginnings, I have been blessed and privileged to have had very special people around me. My family, my friends, my co-workers, who have inspired me and encouraged me to be myself and to be the best that I can be. And I want to pay a special tribute to Jan and to our beautiful and talented daughters, Claire and Rowan, for their unswerving support and for their love and for their patience over the years. If you could indulge me, friends, I just want to say a very special hello to my daughter, Claire, and her partner, Jack. They're actually not watching live because they're currently performing the Hogwarts Christmas show at Universal Studios in Osaka. But they're going to watch and catch up later. So, in all of the many jobs that I've had throughout my career in Scottish Homes, in the National Health Service, and Scottish Enterprise, indeed, here at Strathclyde, my primary focus has always been on serving the needs and interests of those at the heart of what we do. It's all about the tenants, the patients, the small businesses, or the students. That has to be our primary focus. We live in an increasingly complex, frantic and frenetic world, characterised by resource constraints, increased demands, political discombobulation. In all of that hustle and bustle, I've found that it's best to keep things simple, take a step back, and focus on and be guided and driven by what is in the best interests of the people and the communities that we serve. I still get a real buzz and great satisfaction out of serving people and contributing to a better and fairer Scotland. When I visit my dentist in Easterhouse, I still have my dentist in Easterhouse, I drive through the streets of modern and affordable housing, and I remember the work that I was involved in at Scottish Homes to fund new housing and promote community-based housing associations. When I visit the waterfront at Dundee and see the transformation that has taken place in the wonderful new V&A, I remember the early groundbreaking work that me and my colleagues were involved in at Scottish Enterprise to regenerate the area and set a vision for growth and development. And indeed, here at Strathclyde, being part of a world-class team that has created a leading international technological university. I recall fondly the early planning to create the Technology and Innovation Centre that sits at the heart of this wonderful campus and at the heart of Scotland's first innovation district, and the thrill of persuading Buckingham Palace that Her Majesty the Queen should officiate at the opening at what is indeed a spectacular building. Well, these are examples of infrastructure projects. It's primarily about what that infrastructure enables us to achieve. Modern, comfortable homes for our fellow citizens, stunning settings that support the promotion of the arts, tourism and hospitality, and world-class facilities for teaching and learning. I am indeed privileged and very proud to have played my very small part in these and many other projects and programmes over the years. While I reflect on my 7 years as Chief Operating Officer here at Strathclyde, I reckon that they were some of the best years of my life. It was an adventure, a full-on 24/7 roller coaster, with the inspirational and creative leadership of my dear friend and colleague, Professor Sir Jim MacDonald, and with the commitment, creativity and sheer hard work of many people across the university, including many who are here today. My amazing executive assistant, Julia Harrison, who kept me right throughout the whole of those 7 years, Billy Kerr, with Professor Martin Hughes, our investment guru. Just fantastic people. I could just go on. It was just privileged to work with them. We collectively set about delivering a very clear strategy that Jim had set and transforming us into a leading international technological and a very student-centred place of useful learning. And of course, Strathclyde is the epitome of equality, diversity, fairness and opportunity, with the student body representative of the breadth of the wider population. As Vina mentioned in her oration, I am passionate about widening access to university to people from less well-off and disadvantaged backgrounds. Strathclyde has also led from the front in promoting social equality through higher education, and I'm really proud to have been part of that movement. Over recent years, many accolades have been received by the university, including UK University of the Year, which are all very well-deserved endorsement of the world-class work that is done here at Strathclyde by a first-class team of people. Graduates, today, you should feel very proud that you are part of something very successful indeed, and part of a very special family. With inspiration and creativity playing a critical role in university success, to me, a standout feature of the university, of how the university does its business, is teamwork. Collaboration is the name of the game here at the university, across the university, and teamwork with our partners. Everyone is encouraged to play their part and feel that they're doing what they can do to deliver the university strategy. The team are encouraged to be ambitious, to be innovative, to be bold, and to take the initiative. In my view, that can-do attitude, that environment, that empowerment has encouraged throughout the organisation is fundamental to the success and has made Strathclyde what it is today. So to Jim, Robert, Sue, and others, the rest of the team, I salute you. Before I finish, I want to congratulate all my fellow graduates. Today marks a major milestone for you and is the culmination of a lot of hard work and sacrifice. Well done, you've made it. Savour the moment and reflect and celebrate with those around you, those who you love and those who have supported you throughout. You've earned it. You deserve it. And a few thoughts from me as someone who's entering the twilight of his career as you move on to the next exciting phase in your life journey. As my dear and formidable mother, Lizzie Battles, used to drum into me and my brothers and sisters, as you go through life, treat people as you want to be treated yourself. I know it trips off the tongue and it's dead simple, it's easy to say, but whatever we do and wherever we sit in society, we should all exercise care and respect for each other. It makes us so much happier and we can achieve so much more together. Be passionate and compassionate. Whatever you do in life, give it your all and be the best that you can be. That doesn't necessarily mean chasing that next promotion. Throughout my life, my long career, I have never been ambitious for myself. I've simply done the best that I can do in the job that I was in. I've been adaptable and I've been able to take advantage of opportunities as and when they came along. In our fast-changing world, that adaptability will become increasingly important. And as you progress through life and enjoy the rewards that success brings you, always be thoughtful and compassionate to those that are less fortunate. Take time to listen and reflect. Most important of all, be happy. Life is too short. Don't take things too seriously and make the most of every day. Don't forget to set aside quality time and to enjoy the company, love, and good times of all of those that are around you. Thank you again to the university for this wonderful honour. I will cherish it. To my fellow graduates, have a fantastic day. I wish you every success and happiness in the future. Thank you.
My Lord and Chancellor, in the name of the University and by authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for Research and Counselling, Michaela Jimenez Borra. For Research and Physical Activity for Health, Sarah Ann Deans. For Research and Social Work, Moira Hawthorne. And for the degree of Master of Science for Research and Practitioner Research, Jacqueline Grosert. In Advanced Residential Childcare, Stacey Kerr Cameron. Carol Ann Deary. Paul Thomas Williamson. In Applied Educational and Social Research, Alison Grant. Kimberly Erin Hume. John Simon Jones. Kelly Stewart. And in Autism, Sheila Imelda Cross. Ian Galbraith. Konstantinou Ivalga. Pallavi Kumar. Lynn McNally. Joseph Maguire. Georgia Mitsaku. Catherine O'Dempsey. Gemma Patterson. Maria Stupi. And in Child and Youth Care Studies, Adisha Na Dada Aini. Aurora Brelis de Monte. Christine Ann Gatens. And in Education Studies, Abra Awad Alenzi. Omar Abdullah Alquans. Ahmed Benidris Khalipa. Priyanka Bhatia. Diana Katrine Garcia Garcia. Craig Halliday. Katie Hanlon. Scott Lavallee. Lisa Loughran. Megan Marie McMichael. And in family therapy and systemic practice, Anne Cusworth. Jacqueline May Young. And in genealogical studies, Elizabeth Ann Bosher. Miko Cleland. Heather Cromar. Rhiannon Elizabeth Lloyd. Janet Morag McClarty. Desmond James Maguire. Diane Leslie Cameron May. Melanie Nancy Scott. Erin Louise Tilley. Martin John Wilson. And in learning and teaching in higher education, Georgios Ethimou. And in safety and risk management, Cedric Morris Robert Oji. Balvinder Bar. Emma Louise Coomber. Franciscus Martinus Johannes Dweisters. Edward Farrelly. Finlay Ray Graham. Jason David Hebbington. Jason Renahan. Douglas James Smart. Laura Staton. And in social policy, Georgina Helen Sophie Charlton. Lauren Wards. And in counselling, Maureen Young Day. And in counselling and psychotherapy, Laura Catherine Bell. Karen Campbell. Meha Khan. Tina Brittany Cormaninke. Alison Mary McPhee. Caroline McPhee. Michelle McQuillan. Rida Asif Malik. Melanie Louise Martin. Sophie Monaghan. Rebecca Moran. Jason Paul Park. Emily Claire Price. And in Research Methods in Psychology, Rebecca Bigoni. Sarah Rebecca Booth. Alexander Morrison. Abigail Patterson. John MacLeod Linton Robertson. Leslie Ann Margaret Rollins. Craig William Thompson. And in Clinical Health Psychology, Rachel Louise Anderson. Sarah Ashford Smith. Laura Coban. Jamie Ferry. Rebecca Elizabeth Fitzsimmons. Bethan Elizabeth Morgan Gray. Caitlin Halley. Eve Hannah Johnston. Niharika Kali. Karen Sarah Logan. Megan McCann. Claire McFadgen. Amy McMurdo. Declan Simon McLaren McTague. Niharika Rajesh Mihata. Hannah Mary Miller. Claire Louise Mitchell. Stacey Elaine Moore. Nasreen Antonio Moya. Natasha Nabi. Nicola Radigan. Paul Reynolds Cowie. Sarah Louise Robertson. Shivani Arvind Vani. Vedika Shivarthan Sukhatmi. Victoria Louise Syme. Kate Tweets. And in psychology, with a specialisation in business, Hayley Mullen. Vijay Ramlochan. Peace Samuel. And for the degree of Master of Education in Autism, Janie Ellen Geddes. Rachel Ann Finlay Scott. Katrina Mary Thompson. Vasilika Zapanti. And in autism with early years pedagogue, Vicky Watson. And in early years pedagogue, Yvonne Bell. Amanda Parr. Nicolette Catherine Shaw. Julie Amanda Wilson. And in Education Studies, Nicola Cleland. Fiona Ellen Shaw. And in Educational Leadership, Helen Brown. Gillian Ferguson. Elizabeth Ann McGilvray. Sarah Jane Riley. And in Inclusive Education, Fiona Mary Graham. And in Management and Leadership in Education, Kenneth Roderick Stewart. And in Professional Practice, Alison Elizabeth Ford. And for the degree of Master of Social Work, Ronnie Park. Ruby Ruth Ronaldson. Catherine Grace Smith. Holly Thompson. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Speech and Language Pathology, Alison Margaret Goodbrand. Catherine Ellen Martin. Hannah Jardin Wong. Chloe Alexandra Shaw. Laura Jane Hamilton. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Childhood Practice, Sarah Johnston Alexander. Jennifer Helen Bissett. Hayley Clark. Lauren Connor. Lauren Cowan. Corrie Jewett. Lindsay Francis Drummond. Melinda Gerhard. Kaylee Gorman. Laura Grattan. Karen Lorraine Gray. Erin Elizabeth Gribben. Mary Grierson. Stacey Griffin. Claire Hannah. Margaret Buchanan Harris. Jennifer Hosey. Nicole Hunter. Christine Japp. Patricia Kelly. Karen Leach. Jodie Limerick. Rachel Carroll Little. Jacqueline McAleese. Maureen MacArthur. Laura Jane McCann. Lorraine Teresa McCarran. Wendy McCrory. Anne Louise McKenna. Marlene Maloney. Louise Martin. Angela Elizabeth Meachin. Diane Catherine Monroe. Charlene Murphy. Leslie Murray. Samantha Nisbet. Kirsty O'Donnell. Caroline Keane Osborne. Sylvia Jane Rimmer. Craig Robertson. Claire Tumman. Sharon Amelia Watson. Claire White. And in psychology, Claudia Callahan. Rebecca Stachura. And in social work, Anna Marie Bannakin. Kerry Gallagher. Katrina Anderson. Shona Marie McKinnon. Catherine McClelland. Grace Moffat. Murray Fopp. Manuel Alfonso Fuentes Yeldes. And in Education and Social Services, Erin Cheryl Gallagher. Ryan Nielsen. Natasha McAllister. Lynn McHugh. Louise Christina Auld. Louise Kaiser Campbell. Roxanne Chapman. Samantha Devlin. Jenna Gillick. Lindsay Payton. Donna Marie Watson. In Humanities and Social Sciences, Lauren Rebecca Murney. And for the Postgraduate Diploma in Advanced Residential Childcare, Colin William Burns. Lindsay Morrison. Ewan Scott. And in Counselling and Psychotherapy, Gillian Burns. Jane Louise Capel. Sandra Mackenzie Duffy. Laura Finnell. Diane Foy. Cara Lucy Johnston. Deborah Kettle. Marnie King. Francesca Lowe Verschel. Paul McGilligan. Claire Mackay. Emily Rose Mackay. Catherine McLean. Alison Ann Monroe. Stephanie Quinn. Suzanne Ranking. Bernadette Ridge. Senga Vance. Heather White. Genealogical Studies, Kathleen Audrey Ravi. Sally Jane Walker. And in Inclusive Education, Dean Armstrong. And in Social Work, Ernestina Anarfi. Lindsay Hunter. Daniel Alexander McCann. Stephanie MacDonald. Adele Elizabeth McShane. Kassim Majid. Michelle Roderickson. Catherine Smith.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, but most of all, our graduates. It's a real pleasure to welcome you here in the Barony Hall, one of the jewels in Strathclyde's crown. And I'd like to begin my address today by congratulating our graduates once again on their academic achievements. Your hard work has paid off, and it's been recognised in front of your families, your friends, and the staff who taught and supported you during your time here. And we know just how much work you had to put in to be here today. You can all feel justifiably proud. The great American athlete Jesse Owens once said, "We all have dreams, but in order to make dreams come into reality, it takes an awful lot of determination, dedication, self-discipline, and effort." And all of you today have displayed that determination, dedication, self-discipline, and effort. All of you have taken a huge step towards realizing your dreams. And today, in those magnificent surroundings, we celebrate your achievements. Well done. In just a few minutes' time, you'll be asked to join the academic procession as it makes its way down the aisle. This invitation symbolises the fact you're no longer students, you're full members of the academic community of Strathclyde. This is an important moment for you all. The class of 2018 is graduating at a time of considerable global challenge. Here in Scotland, in the UK, and internationally, there's no question that challenges lie ahead for all of us. But as a member of the Strathclyde family, you belong to a large and ever-growing worldwide community with a shared ethos of tolerance and understanding and a desire to make a positive difference. So whatever dreams you're pursuing in life, remember you possess one of the most valuable assets anyone can have in today's world: knowledge and the ability to innovate and the capacity to use your talents for the good of society. And as graduates of a socially progressive university, you have a competitive advantage, having been equipped with the skills, the know-how and life experiences to positively influence and shape the world around you. In Scotland, we're fortunate in having a higher education system, which is the envy of the world. Our country rightly invests in education for all. Education broadens the mind. It creates opportunities for individuals and societies. And as Strathclyders, we carry a sense of duty to use what we've learned wisely and for the good of others. The desire to make a positive impact in the world comes naturally to graduates of this university. We've only to look at the achievements of those who've gone before us for inspiration. To John Anderson, our founder, who established this university for the good of mankind. To George Birkbeck, who introduced free classes on mechanics for Glasgow's tradespeople. To the world's first oilman, James Paraffin Young. To the missionary and explorer, David Livingstone, and to John Logie Baird and Lord Reith, whose work in television brought us visual marvels that they could hardly have dreamt of. And in present day, we look to Dame Elish Angiolini, a pioneer in Scottish justice as the country's first female Solicitor General and later its first female Lord Advocate. And to Sir Tom Hunter, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Scottish history and a philanthropist who's used his wealth to the great benefit of others. Now, I'm sure you will have received a lot of advice on how to make the best of your lives. Some you will rightly ignore. Some will stick with you, but you know, most you're going to have to learn for yourself. Robert Louis Stevenson put it well when he said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." To reach this point in your lives today, each of you will have traveled a different journey. For some, the path will have been relatively easy, and for some, a lot more difficult. But I'm certain of one thing: none of you would be here today without the active support of your family and friends. They've picked you up when you've been down, they've encouraged you when you needed it, and they're here to support you once again today, proudly watching as you cross the stage with broad smiles, one or two whoops and yells, and the odd tear in the eye. They're celebrating today not just because you're almost off the payroll, though I suspect that is one thought, but because you carry with you their hopes, their dreams, their confidence that you can make this a better world. For the past half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears. I'd like now to invite our graduates to show their appreciation for the support of their family and friends. Now, we will actively keep in touch with you through our alumni and communications teams, and I would ask you to please keep in touch with us. We want to hear about your achievements as you progress through your lives and careers, and we look forward to hearing from you again. The advice and guidance given by our alumni helped to provide the first-class education and student experience you all had at Strathclyde. I now ask you think of those who follow in your footsteps. I touched earlier on some of the key figures who've helped create the University of Strathclyde. You know, you can tell a lot about the values of an organisation by looking at its roots. Strathclyde traces its lineage back to 1796, when Anderson brought it into being. It was the only Scottish university founded in the Enlightenment and embodying Enlightenment principles of reason, tolerance, and equality. Anderson believed in useful learning, and his commitment to taking knowledge and using it for the greater good is a motivating force which gives Strathclyde its momentum today. It could be seen in our business school, which was named Business School of the Year in the prestigious UK-wide Times Higher Education Awards in 2016. It could be seen in our Advanced Forming Research Centre, which sets new standards in design and manufacturing and which has more than doubled in size to meet industry demand. It could be seen in our £89 million Technology and Innovation Centre, which is transforming the way academics collaborate with business, industry and the public sector. TIC, as it's fondly known, is a tangible sign of the university's commitment to world-class research and ensuring outcomes that have the maximum benefit to society and the economy. And these represent just a small sample of the many innovative projects and initiatives led by our world-class academic and professional services colleagues who are taking new knowledge and using it to solve problems in industry, in the classrooms, and in boardrooms. I'm especially pleased we're developing a campus to enable us to do even more. Our business school's flagship building has been transformed with a £23.2 million investment. Work is underway in a £60 million teaching and learning hub, and our new £31 million Strathclyde Sport building is now open. All in all, we're investing over £650 million in our estate over the next 10 years. So too, it's been a year to celebrate for the faculty. Dr. Jane Essex from Education won in the Innovating in STEM Education and Training category of Global Game Changers. That's for science engagement events for children with additional support needs. Professor Laura Piacentini is leading an international study in the changing nature of prisons and punishment in Russia and former Soviet states. Strathclyde's Confucius Institute for Scotland's Schools is moving to new headquarters in the Ramshorn, the Grade A listed Ramshorn Theatre, which has been given a refurbishment worth £2 million to develop it as a publicly accessible hub for learning and exchange and cultural exchange. The new premises will be able to host performances, conferences and exhibitions. And researchers led by Alistair Wilson from Education devised a series of 5 lesson plans for secondary S1 and S2 pupils aimed at increasing understanding and acceptance of people with learning disabilities. The lesson plans form a key part of the Enable Scotland Charities Be the Change campaign. Active play in schools could help to improve children's basic movement skills and reduce their sedentary time by almost a fifth, according to research led by Professor John Riley from our Psychological Sciences and Health. Children at 7 primary schools took part in a 6-month programme of hour-long play sessions, after which their periods of sedentary behaviour were found to have decreased by 19%, while activity classed as light intensity increased by 16% and moderate to vigorous activity up 3%. The programme is now being rolled out through 100 Glasgow City Council primary schools. Strathclyde was ranked first in the UK for oral and oral sciences and communication studies and joint first for social policy in the 2019 Complete University Guide. Psychological Sciences and Health student Rob Harwood competed with Scotland's hockey squad at the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, and another Psychological Sciences and Health student, Alex Dunn, competed with Scotland's badminton squad also at the Gold Coast. Katie Hunter was overall winner of the Scottish Graduate School of Social Science Research and Knowledge Exchange Impact competition, and Kirsten Russell received a commendation. That is why our graduates are so highly prized by companies looking to recruit the best talent to drive their businesses forward. That is why world-class companies like Rolls-Royce, GSK and Boeing are investing in Strathclyde. That is why we are leading in energy, health, manufacturing and technology and research. And our success is in no small part due to the collective talent, effort and commitment of our staff, the 3,200 colleagues who are pulling together to deliver one vision, a leading international technological university. Like me, they are very proud of your achievements. I know that the class of 2018 will demonstrate the power of useful learning. I know you will make your dreams come true, and I know you will make a difference to the world in which we all live. Thank you. I now declare closed this congregation for the conferment of degrees. I'd like to invite our graduates to join the academic procession. Would family and friends please stay behind until the procession has left the building and then join us in the Lord Todd for refreshments. I'm looking, hopefully, is it still raining out there? Wonderful. Glasgow has served us well again. Beautiful weather outside. We'll see you in the Lord Todd. Thank you.